and this is Color Kyle, and welcome to Wheels of Fury. Hey, Matt here, this is Color Kyle, and we look like we have jaundice. Now, if there's any of you out there that have jaundice, who cares? Anyways, so, yeah. We're gonna be doing today our top 10 favorite matches. Now, these are matches that we've seen a few years ago. It doesn't necessarily have to be now, but matches we've seen a few years ago, and yeah, just personal taste, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Now, because it's our favorite match doesn't necessarily mean it has to be yours. It is great. If not, that's okay. It's just opinion based.
yeah, pretty much. And it's like, and I didn't realize this actually, that the first year that we did this series was the last time we did top favorite matches. We won't be doing, I don't want to talk to you about this, but anyways, try not to do matches from the big four pay-per-views. So, like SummerSlam, you know.
SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series.
Yeah. But we'll see how it goes, because I did have a match on here that was technically a SummerSlam match, but I'll have to... I'm pretty sure there's more out there that I could see anyways.
Yeah, for sure. First, I've got a match that actually just happened last weekend, last Saturday, for the NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff show, which, by the way, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing match. And a few of the matches I selected are from that card, but they're just such good matches that why not put them on a list of best matches, favorite matches, or whatever. But the first one I chose was the main event of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Bate and Walter.
And it's like we said before, you know, you look at a pay-per-view like NXT UK and you think, okay, the show in general is awesome. It's nothing like you would see here. And we'll get to that later as well with my picks, but you look at the UK and they have a whole different style to them. So it's like, it's very cool to see that. You got Tyler Bate and Walter. Now, Walter, definitely a huge muscle guy, definitely one of the best in NXT UK, you know, probably the first Austrian-born wrestler in WWE right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this match definitely took Tyler Bate to the limit.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you would think Tyler Bate was going to win, but at the same time, you also knew that Walter was going to have a huge chance.
Oh, yeah. The thing that really made this match so good is Tyler Bate put up a very good showing for himself. He put up a very good fight against Walter, but when it all was said and done, even though Tyler Bate lost the match, his stock went up exponentially off this match.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You take a young guy, you know, and yeah, it's kind of like it's too early for someone like him to be your head champion, if that makes any sense. Because right now NXT only has one main champion. Like there's no secondary belt. The mid card belt, I guess you could say.
Yeah, at least with NXT, they've got the NXT Championship, but they also have the North American Championship.
So, with putting the strap on him now, you would think, at least I would think it's too early. But it works, you know, for him. I think he's going to be one of the fast rising stars. If he does make it to North America and join the WWE, that would be pretty cool. But where he is right now, I think it's a little bit more better for him,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You look at Walter, the same guy who, you know, debuted last year, who beat Pete Dunn,
Mm-hmm.
who is a brick shithouse that can destroy anybody in the match that he has a stable. It's pretty cool to see a guy like him in the ring and how he moves. I told you how fucking fast he moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like at his size.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is pretty cool to see how it all turned out anyways. Because you thought that Tyler had a chance. But unfortunately it went to Walter.
Yeah. I mean, as cool as it would have been to see Tyler be champion again and be the first two-time United Kingdom champion, they're making Walter out to be an absolutely dominant force.
Yeah.
Now, we'll see if they have Walter go anywhere near Pete Dunne's title reign, but
Yeah.
for right now, they're making him out to be a very dominant champion. And want to talk about how intense Walter is, you could say. Think back to that video I sent you. Walter absolutely laying
yeah.
the shit out of Zack Sabre Jr. with a chop.
Oh god, yeah.
That was insane.
That was crazy. And that's, you know, how wrestlers should be. You know, you look at NXT UK and you think, alright, these guys are what wrestling used to be.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, because I was watching one of Jimmy Carderis's outside rants he does on Facebook, and he said NXT UK and AEW's All Out was like a sports entertainment show, whereas NXT UK was a lot more of a wrestling show. Now, I tried to figure out what he meant by that. I can kind of see where he was going with it.
Right.
I think that, yeah, NXT does seem, NXT America also seems more like a wrestling show compared to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. One of the benefits, I would say, to having NXT and NXT UK on the WWE network is they have like an hour of TV time, if you will, and just put on a really good show. Don't have to worry about filling in time with commercials and promos and stuff like that. Yeah, you might have the odd backstage interview. Yeah, you might have the odd segment backstage or whatever, but for the most part,
Yeah.
it's in-ring competition, in-ring action, which really helps to kind of define the sports entertainment aspect from the pro wrestling aspect. And with both those organizations, I guess you can call them, they don't really go the all-out, extravagant, over-the-top entrances that they do with the main roster. Yeah, you would have, like, Velveteen Dream do, like, the Statue of Liberty for his entrance, or a Hulk Hogan-like entrance, or something unique like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, NXT, they have their takeover events basically aligned with the big four pay-per-views.
Exactly, yeah.
And, you know, NXT UK doesn't really do that, but there's just that element of, okay, we're an hour, let's fill the hour with as much wrestling as possible, keep the people entertained, and...
Yeah, for sure. So, we talk about NXT UK. Let's go all the way to the very first, which I believe was last year. I could be wrong. The very first War Games. Yeah, it was last year.
Yes.
So you have Adam Cole, well, you have the Undisputed Era versus Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders, or War Machine,
Yeah.
or
Viking
Raiders. But this is back when they were, like, cool. Anyways, you know, when I first thought about War Games, I thought back to the WCW days.
Mm-hmm.
And how awesome it was, and how unique it was to have two rings, and then you've got the cage, and then there was the roof. This NXT War Games was completely different.
Yeah.
You had the teams on the stage, in the cage,
Yeah.
and you got called one at a time with two wrestlers starting in the ring. So it was really unique how they used the cage. Oh yeah, there was no roof as well.
Right.
But it was really unique, and yeah, they used their time wisely. There was a lot of teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of like weird. Like you had Adam Cole at one point. He was spread up between the two turnbuckles, I think, or the two rope. I can't remember. But yeah, the match went to the Undisputed Era,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that was pretty cool.
The one thing that I noticed was that a really noticeable difference. Okay, yeah, you got the other members of the teams on the shark cages on the stage, and yeah, the main cage, if you will, had no roof. But usually, when you watch War Games, it was the two rings and the cage over top. And if you were going from one ring to the other, you really had to be careful because there was a gap between the two rings. Well, when they first had the War Games match on NXT, they put like a metal strip on top of the gap between the two rings. Now, a few times they had War Games matches, WCW, NWA. More often than not, somebody would end up between the rings. Intentional or not, it happened. So, I think they put that metal strip there for safety purposes, I guess.
Yeah, that's WWF for you. But I mean, it was still a good match.
Oh, yeah.
I think that next year should be better as well. This year's was good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was really good.
But, yeah, Ricochet as the North American champion. You've got Pete Dunne as the UK champion. I really like Pete Dunne. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And so, I mean, most of them are now on the Raw side.
The War Raiders on Raw.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne's, well, on NXT right now. They had him and Trent Seven after the match come out and, kind of talk to Tyler Bate, and man, that was a great match, and help him up and hug each other and do the whole this high five type thing. But I don't know if Pete Dunne is going to be exclusively on NXT right now. I think so, but nevertheless.
I'm not sure.
And then, Ricochet's on Raw. And, the Undisputed Era still with NXT. Yeah. But, as if we haven't talked about Pete Dunne enough, let's talk about Pete Dunne a little bit more. My next choice, Matt made mention of it, and why not go full in depth to it. And when I saw it, like the match with Tyler Bate and Walter, it was a very good match and very hard hitting and aggressive, and really showed Tyler Bate's gumption and a different side of him, you could say.
Yeah.
We'll go to NXT New York, was it? And Pete Dunne and Walter for the United Kingdom Championship, where Dunne lost the title to Walter.
Yes. Yeah, and that was just insane. Have Pete Dunne a year as the United Kingdom champion.
Yeah.
And then this is what happens. And he kind of figured that someone like Walter would go and defeat Pete Dunne for his first loss.
Yeah.
But think about it, he was a guy that was a year as the UK champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he got defeated by another wrestler. You have Asuka as your longest reigning women's NXT champion. And she surrenders the title?
Yeah.
Well, that's fucked up. Double standard bullshit. But anyways. Yeah, this was a good match, obviously.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the notion that, Pete Dunne would do whatever it took to keep the title, and Walter would do whatever it took to take the title from Pete, and just a great back and forth match, and to have the match end with big ass Walter coming off the top rope with a splash, it's like, holy shit.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, that was a great match. But I think that Pete Dunne will definitely try to go back to that title.
I think
I
so.
think he's wanting to have a match for the NXT North American title, but I'm not sure what that's going to go, because, they already had that match with, I can't remember his name. Oh, that was the NXT title, never mind.
Yeah.
But,
well, right now, I think they're building up a little more of a rivalry, you could say, with Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong.
right,
So,
well,
I'm sure once that's settled, maybe Pete Dunne will end up with another shot at the North American Championship, and maybe eventually go after Walter again. Who knows?
yeah, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting if they do. So, let's go now to Japan. We have one of the most dominant, violent wrestlers of the 80s versus one of the oldest hardcore wrestlers ever. We have Bruiser Brody versus Terry Funk And holy shit.
The Funker.
The Funker. And this is like pre, beard, long hair,
Yeah.
fucking Terry Funk, the guy who's short hair, he's got a clean face, and he's going after Bruiser Brody. I mean, you talk about England with the fucking strong style, fucking Japan. You take two American wrestlers and then you put them in Japan, and it's like nothing that you ever imagined.
Oh, yeah.
But this match was like balls to the wall.
Oh, yeah. No
And
doubt.
obviously, Bruiser had, an upper hand on Terry. I don't know, Terry might have had a few good shots in there.
He did.
But, they wrestled on the floor. Terry got busted open.
On his ear.
Yeah. And then fucking Brody got busted open.
Yeah.
So, and there you go. This was a really good match. This is another example of how a good match can turn into complete dog shit!
Yeah.
That's one thing that I really hated. And I get it. That's the dumbest, I don't. So, Stan Hansen comes in. He's like at the side of Brody. He initially stops the match, gets in the ring, beats Terry Funk up. So, that happens for a while. Then who comes to Terry's rescue but Dory? So it's not like now where you can go, hey, let's have a tag team match, player. No, because we have to have another match another time. That's bullshit. You paid all that money, all of the yen, to watch the match, and all of a sudden it stops because of that interference. And that's stupid, because now who knows what could have happened. And it's a shame, because Bruce and Brody deserve better than that. They both deserve better than that.
Yeah.
I think Terry Funk is one of the best hardcore wrestlers in his time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even back in the 70s. We did talk about the empty arena match with Jerry Lawler.
My
Help me, lads!
Help me! Get the doctor!
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Definitely funny. And for two guys that are very hardcore, Bruiser might have been a little more stiff with his working, you could say.
Yeah.
But two guys like that having a match in Japan and just going for the gusto, if you will, it should have ended differently. It was still pretty good.
Yeah, and it was. It's just a shame that
Yeah.
it had to happen like that. And, I think I just don't like it when that happens. It really sucks. It's like you're a fan that paid all that, and that's what you get. So
I know.
But nothing to take away from, the Funks or Bruiser Brody or Stan Hansen. It's just the way it is.
And you want to talk about two badass dudes, Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen?
Oh, fuck, yeah. Stan Hansen's one of those guys that, big guy. He was the tough Texan,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like, what is he doing in Japan? Because it doesn't look like his element. He's always walking around with that bull rope, and the lariat, and the whole just badass motherfucker. The guy broke Bruno Sammartino's neck.
Yeah.
So
next I have... Oh, yes. This match happened last takeover event, the regular NXT UK, it was a very good match. A lot of unorthodox things and a lot of moves you wouldn't expect to see, and a lot of just watching it going, holy shit. It was the 4-way ladder match for the NXT Tag Team titles. Was the Street Profits, it was Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, the Forgotten Sons, and Danny Burch and O'Neal Larkin.
Oh, that was awesome. That was a good match. I agree.
Yeah, we watched that match together, and
Yeah.
we must have commented like maybe 10 times or in thereabouts. The number of times Kyle took a fucking bump on the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, that guy fucking...
How he's still moving and not have a broken back.
Oh, there's a match I'll bring up later on that fucking proved how tough he was. I mean, that guy definitely, you wouldn't think, but wow. And, you know, both these guys being in Japan, being in Ring of Honor, just the whole legacy, and even more. I mean, they've probably been everywhere, but the legacy that these guys will have in the near future, I wouldn't be surprised if they came over to Raw or SmackDown to become tag team champions. I'm sure they're
for sure.
gonna be fucked over, but we'll see how that goes. You look at the Street Profits, and you think these guys, yeah, they're a joke tag team, sure, but they definitely can get serious and, you know, put on a hell of a match. I like to see more of what they can do. Maybe they could be 2-time NXT Tag Team Champions at some point. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen once they get to the main roster. It's funny, though, because these guys, I did say they were reminiscent of a tag team, but I can't remember what I said.
Crime Time?
Yes, that's it. Which is, it is true, but it's not true, because, I mean, the Crime Time was, the crime's not cool anyways.
No.
Whereas the Street Profits are more like party type guys, so I mean,
Like, I did see your point of, like, yes, they're both a joke tag team. They did a lot of funny things, like spray painting and destroying the shit out of JBL's limo, and you know, I think it was on like WWE.com, they'd have this little thing where it'd be like the word of the day and all this other stuff, but you know, when it came to having a match, Crime Time could get it done. It's the same with the Street Profits. Yes, they do a lot of silly, funny, joking stuff. Comes time to get the job done, they can get the job done.
Yeah.
But it's like I said to you, yes, Crime Time was a very good tag team and a joke tag team, if you will, but it just seemed to be that there was a quality missing from Crime Time where they didn't end up as tag team champions, and yet Street Profits have already been NXT tag team champions.
Yeah, that is true. They just wanted to make that money.
Yeah.
Money. Yeah. So.
One thing I will say, though, about that match, probably the best moment of the whole match was friggin' Montez Ford springing from the top rope to the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
That was fucking amazing. I mean, this was a good match, for sure. And who knows what else these guys can do, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, they did become the tag team champions that night. So. Alright, so let's go now to 1995, I believe it was. You have a steel cage match. Big Daddy Cool Diesel versus Yokozuna.
Yeah.
And all I can think is, how the fuck is he gonna climb that cage?
How the fuck is 600 plus pounds of Yokozuna gonna climb over that fucking cage?
I mean, you gotta think too, the guy, when he debuted, wasn't half as large as he is, or was then,
Right.
when he came back.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fucking huge, bigger than I was.
Mm.
I mean, I was gonna say huger than I was, but you know, that's just. And then Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash, definitely fucking was amazing as well. And at that time, he was the WWF champion, so that was awesome. And I think too, you have Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anybody on Kevin Nash's side, but like he needed it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, this was good. They had them try to escape the cage through the door and on top, you know. But actually, Yokozuna tried to do it himself. He tried to climb that cage, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to collapse.
Yeah. I think when, at that point, Yokozuna was trying to climb out of the cage over the top, he didn't want to attempt to climb the ropes, get to the top of the cage, and then step up, like climb the cage top and get over, because he figured the ropes would probably break under his weight, so he steps through the ropes. And then he's attempting to climb, and he's like sitting on the top rope and trying to like get himself to the top of the cage and seeing if he can get over. And I think Jim Cornette was like, Yoko, don't do it, man. Don't do it. You'll break the fucking cage.
Yeah, exactly.
We watched it, and I said to Matt, if that was me, and I saw big-ass Yokozuna trying to climb over the top of the cage, I would have been like, he ain't getting his fat ass over that cage. I'm out here, and would have left at the door.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nuts.
And the one thing that really made it interesting, although not really that suspenseful, is Yokozuna's trying to get out the door. Kev's trying to leave over the top. Kev gets over the top and onto the other side, and Yokozuna's pretty much out the door. He just needed to, like, swing his feet down so they touched the floor, but he didn't do it in time, and of course Diesel just drops from the cage to the floor and keeps the title.
Yeah.
Next, I have a match for the NXT Women's Championship. Yes, I know I've been going a lot of NXT, but hey, what the hell, you know, that's just that damn good. Yeah, the NXT Women's Championship, and this match got personal, but the way it became personal ended up fueling the rivalry and made this match that much better. Their first go around was really good, but I think this match was the better of the two they had. Anyways, Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler.
Okay. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like I wanted to see if Mia Yim would beat Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was a former Knockouts champion. You know, let's see what she could do in WWE. Obviously, yeah, probably wasn't her time yet, but I think that each wrestler that stepped into the ring with Shayna Baszler was a really good fight and took Shayna to the limits, and I think gave Shayna respect for Mia Yim.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Shayna beat Mia for the, you know, retaining the title. So I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen in the future.
And like Mia Yim trying to do whatever it took to win the match. I mean, she was doing things during that match that she normally wouldn't do. I mean, raking the eyes and
Right.
all this other stuff. So that's what made it so good. Like I said, even though it got personal, Shayna talking about me as like family and all this other stuff, it got so personal, but it getting that personal, and even me as sharing the story of like, yeah, I didn't really have the greatest childhood growing up, and I did this and I did that, and I was in school, and so on and so forth. But in the end, made for such a good match between the two of them.
Yeah, for sure. Going back again, we've got more Americans. We've got Terry Funk versus Cactus Jack. And yeah, Mick Foley and Terry Funk have had a historic career. You know, historic matches, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes to show you how, again, overseas, you have these guys do a lot more than they can do when they're in North America. Because this was a death match.
Mm-hmm.
So picture this: you've got a ring, you got no ropes, but barbed wire. And every 10 minutes, or 10 seconds, I think it's 10 minutes, the ring would explode.
What it was is they had no ropes on the ring,
Right.
barbed wire around the ring, and then there was boards with barbed wire on it and explosives.
Yeah.
So when you threw your opponent onto the board, not only were they getting the barbed wire on them, they would have to try not to get their ass lit on fire by the explosives. And then at a 10-minute point, the match, basically the ring would blow up.
Yeah.
Or at least you thought it would. Or that's the idea they gave.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of, you know, these two took themselves to the limit. And people, and they don't knock Mick Foley, but let's say people do. You have to look at the shit that guy put him through.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he put himself through a lot. And it was like, you know, getting his ear ripped off in Germany, or getting a tooth knocked off and into his nose at Hell in a Cell, or being knocked off Hell in a Cell twice, or yeah, just a whole bunch of crazy shit that this guy put himself through. Not to mention Terry Funk, who probably still wrestles in his 70s, and is like, Jesus Christ, you know, it was crazy. You know, they already had a wrestling, you know, they already had wrestling matches before, because they were all bandaged.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, to reopen the wounds that they had, and, you know, it was just insane. Because,
absolutely.
Again, it was one of those things where, and maybe it was a different time, I don't know, but it was just, again, balls to the wall. I can't say anything more about that.
Oh, no, exactly. Now, I did mention about the whole ring exploding. And, of course, Mick Foley was providing commentary for the match. And he's going, oh, yeah, getting down to it. And, you know, I'm all nervous and worried and scared. And, you know, you got the fans counting down from 10. And the PA guy counting down from 10 to 1 in English, surprisingly. With like 10, 9, you're anticipating 8, 3, 2, 1. And you want to talk about going over like a fart in church. Yeah, it was an explosion, but it was like, what are you, setting off pyro? If you're going to, like, okay, you don't want to have an explosion to kill somebody, but have it look good. That reminds me of the story Joey Styles told, where it was a tag match. And to win the match, you had to throw your opponent into a cage, and then the cage blew up. Well, they had a security guy helping out or whatever, and he knocked over the canister of gunpowder. So when it came for the explosion to happen, well, like he said, it went over like a fucking church.
Yeah, that was fucked up, man. And you know, it's also extremely dangerous.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely it is.
You can fucking see these guys. And there's been a lot of death matches over in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a reason why they don't happen here. But it's like, they could have fucking died. You know, get their limbs blown off or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not careful with that shit, and you can either blow a damn arm off, a ear off, a leg off, get burnt really badly. Mick was relaying a story. Matt and I were talking, but I could pick up what Mick was talking about. He was saying I think he went home and
Yeah.
he's getting a hug from his kids and his wife and his dad, and they go, "Do you smell something burning?" And of course, Mick's trying to play it off like it's nothing. No, it's probably barbecue or burning rubber or whatever, and they keep bringing it up, and Mick finally goes, "Okay, it's me. I'm the one that smelled like the burning," and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you, like, having barbed wire involved in a match, like, we've seen it so many times. It's an insane thing. Well, the moment you involve explosives as well, that's taking the bar to a whole nother level.
I will say this, though. I think tape fists with glass onto your arms is a lot safer than that match. Sort of, you know.
As crazy as it sounds, it's probably true.
But yeah, that was fucked up.
Oh yeah, like I said, I can understand you want to do like an explosion safely, but yeah, it did not look how I'm sure they were anticipating it to look. And I think even the crowd started booing, and it's like, okay, if they're in Japan and doesn't go the way you're anticipating it to go, and they start booing, that tells you something. Because we know how respectful the fans in Japan are. They'll sit quietly, yeah, they'll applaud, yes, they'll cheer, and what have you, but they'll sit quietly and watch the match. And yeah, they were booing it. It's like, ooh, that's not good.
No. And, you know, it is disrespectful. You know, these people work their ass off, and you think American fans are terrible, or Canadian fans, whatever. These people work their ass off for you, and you're fucking booing them? That's just insane.
Don't get me wrong, the match was great. It was just that one moment where, you know, oh my god, the ring's gonna blow up, and like I said, it looked like friggin' fireworks going off. It was like, yeah, they didn't like that too much.
Right.
Anyways. Next, I chose, again, another NXT match. Now, with these two guys, you could have picked any match that these two had during the series of matches that they had. All of them were great. So, talk about one match, talk about all of them, or whatever, but just these two guys having matches against each other and, you know, going the limit, going the distance, and really showing how good they are at what they do, even though they may have come from different worlds, so to speak. Put them together in a ring, it was fantastic. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole.
Yeah. No, that was a good match. And I think that, you know, it would be awesome to see what happens if they do have a rematch.
Yeah.
Or another rematch or whatever. But just the story leading up to it was awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, it was a an interesting, let's have Adam Cole manipulate the people of where Johnny lives, you know, and whatever, and then Johnny Gargano doing the whole babyface move and inspiration and all that. So, I mean, that was really cool as well, but to see Johnny Gargano lose to Adam Cole, I thought that was a bit like, okay, well, now Adam Cole has the championship, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, maybe they do deserve to have another match. I'd like to see it, you know.
Right.
But who knows what's going to happen.
But like I said, you know, you talk about 2 out of 3 falls match they had where Johnny won the title. Can talk about the one-on-one match they had against each other. Can even talk about their second 2 out of 3 falls match. And the third fall being that insane chamber of horrors, if you will. And having like the table on top of the cage and sledgehammers and candlesticks and barbed wire and all this other stuff. Yeah, just amazing. And having both of them standing on top of it. Like, you got 2 tables set up in the rings beside each other. Them on top of the table, on top of the cage. And, you know, Johnny's got some barbed wire and he's trying to stick Adam Cole in the head with it. And they both go falling some 15 feet through what was probably supposed to be both the tables, but it only ended up being one. And then, you know, Cole getting the pin and getting the championship and or retaining the championship, whatever. And like, yeah, that was very, very good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna go to part 2, and I don't know how many I picked down, but yeah, this is actually going really well. So we'll be right back.
Yeah.